Hello and welcome to another Beluga Podpod. What we're doing this episode is looking at the trailer for the movie Downsizing, not actually watching the movie itself, and just talking about our thoughts on the procedure of being downsized. Speaking today, we have myself, Jean-Pierre, Abi, Brandon, Logan, and Mamadou. Now let's dive on in. Alright, so we just watched the trailer for Downsizing, so what do you guys think about the concept?
I'd do it.
Instantaneously would do it.
But why? Why would you do it?
It looks great.
What a fucking reason.
That was the reason. I mean, one of the reasons I kind of like this concept is it deals with the issue of overpopulation in the world. It looks like a really good way to actually deal with it.
Yeah, because you're not killing anyone or like culling the population. They can reproduce and have babies as much as they want. It's just they're tiny now.
Would the babies be tiny, or would they? Well, I guess if
What,
the
you
person
think they're
was
gonna pop
small.
out of
They just explode at normal size, like women just die.
Just imagine carrying that thing.
Oh Lord!
Oh my god.
Hey, Mamadou, what's up?
Let's cut.
I suck. Sorry, y'all.
Do we want to we could just do it again because we just started the podcast. So he has to watch this though.
Alright, I'll watch it again.
I'll watch it again. Okay. So, would you do this operation?
Abi, you first.
Maybe as a retirement plan.
As a retirement plan? So like when you hit like 60? Well, actually, the thing is like, okay,
40.
because yeah, you can retire. Realistically, you can retire now. What did they say the amount was like 12,000?
So that's why I rewinded.
Yeah. I'm gonna rewind it right now. I want to hear the exact conversion rate.
I'm saying it.
Oh, great. Nice.
52,000 translates to 12.5 million. So obviously there's some inflation going on here.
Yeah, super inflation.
Obviously. There's a little
And
bit
the
of
exchange
inflation.
rate is freaking down.
Well, I think that's because they would use less resources. So, like, if you buy a $1 bottle of water, that's gonna be freaking massive.
Yeah, that's enough water to last you forever.
Not
Like,
forever, but like a long ass
little
fucking
life.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. For your mansion in your little life.
Like we saw at the end, that bottle of vodka was like enough for 1,000 people, and that's like what?
That vodka could kill you.
So
Straight
I just
up.
did the math. $1 equals $240 in Miniland.
Okay.
Whoa!
Oh. Okay.
So you could basically move to a third world country and it's like the same thing.
Oh my God.
No, but you're not in a mansion. Actually, I guess you are in a mansion.
Yes, you are. You got
The
servants.
water,
got
you
everything.
know the water is clean. Look at that mansion,
See,
though.
They got me there. They got me there.
You know the water's clean. You're probably not gonna get stabbed or kidnapped. Probably.
I mean, yeah, because since everyone has more money, there'd be less crimes involved
No,
in
no,
money,
no,
I
no. That
guess.
is false. That is false. Because the lower class is also going into that I'm assuming that mini world. So
Yeah.
technically, the crime rate would still be there.
I guess,
If
yeah. I guess
anything,
after
there
a
might be
while,
more.
society will stabilize, and
In
then
that trailer, there's a guy filling up their pool. Like there's still people working. Somebody's running the Cheesecake Factory. There's still minimum wage. Like,
And I realized that like not everyone can do this. Otherwise, like it's I guess a moot point and becomes worse because the environment is I guess technically more dangerous to traverse, right?
Exactly.
well, if the dandelion, like a dandelion, if it fell on you, you might die.
Like a cat
what if-
becomes a
what if
major
a
predator.
snake came through the
Holy
town.
shit.
Yeah,
Both
animals become like
down to,
fucking huge monsters here.
I fucking hate tiny spiders now. Imagine those things when they're like fucking.
They can eat you now. Like so many things can eat you now.
Things like the big thing is like it's irreversible. So like I don't have to pass on this. It looks really cool and all, but like I just can't. I can't. If it's irreversible,
I need a lot
I
of
can't-
testing and
that's
data
a lot
here.
of commitment. I mean,
Yeah.
in this world, it looks like a lot of people have already gone through the procedure, and it looks like it must have passed FDA testing or whatever. So I'm gonna say it's,
FDA?
you know,
Food and
like-
Drug Administration
you
testing.
know what?
Yeah.
Yeah, food and drug. But
They
you
have
know,
to eat too.
yeah, they have to eat. It looks like it's gone through enough testing that like millions of people have already done it, according to this trailer from what I'm seeing. So like it must have been tested and regulated.
right. So there's no like physical side effects to you being shrunk.
Besides,
Even though
Just
that makes
assume
no
that.
fucking sense.
No,
Sorry.
physically it doesn't. Because
Well,
like breathing would
the
be
concept.
let's not get into that.
We're not going to a
Not yet.
physics concept of this.
Like,
If it
you
was
can
possible.
fall from higher places now. Like, you can fall, I don't know, 20 feet and you'd be fine because you're small. It's amazing.
Is that
Is that
how
how
it
it
works?
Yeah, because your body has less mass to like worry about. So it can take more stress.
Hmm.
It's basically if assuming that we have the same material, there's a lot less force from us hitting the ground. So we can go from greater heights because there'd be less force from us hitting the ground. The bigger you are, the harder you fall. Is literally the premise
I can
here.
see that. Yeah, no, I feel like he's right. I've seen a dog jump off like 30 feet and it's fine.
What?
What?
What kind of dog?
That's fine.
You've seen this?
I've seen it IRL.
I guess think like cats, like
Chihuahua
how hard
dog.
they jump from, and they're like usually fine and shit.
And they always land on their feet, so they're fine.
Physically, it would be kind of interesting. The wind is like dangerous now, like right? Isn't that? I don't know.
Yeah.
No, that's very
Imagine
true.
being in Chicago, you just die. You would just get updrafted and die.
die?
It's
Winter is
Wait,
a
tornado.
terror, dude.
You would
Dude,
die.
snowflakes would be amazing. Well, I mean, they're okay. Let's assume the
Actually-
average person's like 6 inches tall in this world now.
Imagine like a 1 foot snowfall.
One blizzard and they're screwed.
All the things you have to worry about become scary. I mean, admittedly, because not everyone is downsized, it's not that bad. But I'm thinking like if everyone becomes downsized, there needs to be a lot of science and technology and thinking about how to survive in a smaller environment. Really.
Well, the thing is, like, the smaller environment looks controlled, though. I'm just saying, like, maybe if it goes beyond that.
Yeah. I
You're
mean,
talking
I
about
guess that's
long-term.
true.
Talking about long term, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking like long term.
Okay,
Like if
but like
everyone
in the
does
short
it.
term of like what you're seeing now from this trailer, would you undergo this procedure? Because I'm a nay. Obviously, retirement.
Why are you a nay?
I thought you were yay.
No, irreversible.
Yeah, but
I want to live.
you still live.
What?
I can retire.
Irreversible doesn't mean you're gonna die.
I mean, it's also uncharted territory, so you don't know what's gonna happen, right?
But
According
like,
to Brandon, it's a controlled environment.
it's a controlled environment according to this, but I don't know what other flaws or like whatever things can happen to you. Like this trailer doesn't show anything except the good parts. Like what happens if like again like snow or wind or just like
Or like flooding or rain, like
If
or
you're saying
an
it's a
animal wants to
controlled
eat you.
environment, those things will get. Those things are out of the equation if it's a controlled environment.
that's true if it's a controlled environment.
So can you further define controlled environment as in like what there
Yeah,
are people who are fully sized controlling the
Yeah, like
environment?
fully sized caretakers making sure the environment is
It
like
kind of
free
looks like
of
it's like a
any sort of.
dollhouse kind of area. It's just like they have a dome and they make a little community. Like someone like made that house like a figurine maker made that like what that scale house mansion. You know what I mean?
Also, their
And-
brains are really small now too, right? Would they like think differently?
Proportionally, it'd still be the same size.
Yeah, just because your brain is small doesn't mean. Actually, no. Does that mean?
Does
you
it?
think less?
Yeah, like,
But to your body, it's still the same size.
and then what happens to your cells? Like, are your cells like super fucking small now?
I'm
so
just assuming
only
like your
questions.
cells are getting a 1-to-1 reduction. All your cells.
So like, how does that work physically? I don't know, man. There are too many questions for me to even like. To
Well,
get-
okay, considering just leaving all the math behind, just come up with-
Let's just assume PIM particles
This is
right now.
biology.
You know, Ant-Man. You watch
Fine.
Ant-Man, right? PIM particles. That's how this is happening.
All right. Well, assuming the math is checked out, shit, dude. I still don't know if I would do this. Not until like it has to be like 20 probably years or something before I consider it. Like that's a long time before I'll be willing to do this.
Okay.
I need to make sure there's not a lot of cause for concern because random shit happens. You don't know. This is trial testing, you know. So like, I want to have all the kinks worked out before I even think about.
What if
doing
this is like post beta testing?
Yeah, I want like the full release and then a couple of patches after that.
Okay, so Mamadou says he'll wait. What about you, Logan?
Me?
Yeah.
I'd probably do it.
Okay. Why?
So like all the landscapes and shit, like they could make whatever you want.
Yeah,
make,
and
like-
it would be pretty cheap to do.
Yeah.
Think of 3D printing. You can like 3D print a bunch of awesome shit for yourself because it's gonna be so fucking small. Oh, dude,
car straight up.
you can 3D print like a chair or like a table. I should think bigger than just a chair and a table. We can 3D print so much cool shit.
You can't think bigger. You're small.
You can 3D print the desk. You can 3D print like a fucking drawer, bro.
You
Like,
just went from chair to table to desk, dude.
I'm trying to think of things that like work and don't like.
Are you just looking around your room at stuff that you could just 3D print?
I can make a mug.
Whoa. Big question though. What about gaming? How does that work now?
How does the internet work?
Net
Can
neutrality
you,
doesn't affect this environment at all. It's really controlled.
can you still? Well, the thing is, like, would you be able to game against people that were big? Because it's just online, right?
Yeah, like if you're playing in a tournament or something, you know, like you're playing like Smash Brothers.
Big versus Little League.
Well, I need an entire squad to play Smash Brothers, like an entire team.
Well, no, I'm assuming they would shrink the controllers too, because they have clothes and shit.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So would they be able to make a working gaming console at that size though?
Let's just say, for
Don't
all
think
intents and
about the
purposes,
physics.
shit just works. Yeah.
But do you have the same internet as like a big person, or is it like a separate
No, because
internet
it's
service?
smaller.
Dude, that was a
faster.
question that I thought too, because like if I wanted to just work, like if I wanted to do some marketing shit, could I just work for big corporations like as a little person?
And then make the money they make, and then you'd be like hella rich.
Hell yeah, that'd be great, because I'd only have to
would
be
they-
on my computer.
Would they pay you your actual downsized pay though?
Ooh, true. Is
Would
it
they
kinda
pay
like
you the same?
offshoring?
They could pay you less and still probably make a shit ton of money.
That's also very.
It'd be a win-win probably.
The thing is, like, you wouldn't be able to go into an office. You can't, like, you can only work from home realistically if it's a big people working.
I mean, they
You
had
gotta pay
that
a
section of the
house.
bus.
Yeah.
You have to make it small people capable or small people friendly, I guess.
Small people pay
Small
more.
handicap.
Small, handy capables, like small parking lot.
But like internet-wise, I feel like it should work. It just depends on if they shrink computers down, really, right? Like I don't see a reason for it to not work.
Yeah, because the information's going to be the same regardless.
How does
That's what
Tinder
I was
work?
thinking. Yeah. I mean, if you're not worried about the physics of how that shit works, which we're not, so it should be fine.
Like, okay, let's say you're on Tinder and you want to date some chick, but she's still big. Just like,
That booty's bigger.
Yeah.
that's so fat it could kill me.
That'd be the
Like-
next like taboo relationship, like big and little mixed
It's like
relationships.
you gotta
Oh
convert.
my
like, nah.
God.
So, oh my
Like,
god, what if
really
the
got
big
lost.
people decide to like, I don't know, fuck you over? Like, if some giant dude is like, fuck you, I hate all these small people, like on the bus, he tries to like just to kill them all. How do you
Or
stop
what
that?
what if someone like just storms into their city and like just stomps on everything?
Just pisses
Attack
everywhere.
on Titan.
That's something I'm scared of. The big people have a lot of power because they are bigger.
You know, a lot of trust in that bus driver to just
Yeah,
not
it's a
on
lot
you.
of trust in those people.
Or what if the country just like forces everyone to get small, like some like gas?
I mean, if
virus
any
or
country
something?
did that, I think China would start that shit.
That was the first thing I was
Finally,
thinking of.
Get
They're
the-
like, fuck all you people. You guys are going small.
Like, literally, China could solve all like a bunch of their issues.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Like sardines. Like they could just be like, oh, you can go at it now. Like, oh.
So would the pollution in China like affect the people more if they were little people?
Actually, yeah. Could you even breathe?
Hmm.
Would you just die because of smog? Like straight up smog? Because you have
The
little
small
lungs.
would drop on you and kill you.
Yeah, the smog would be like a dense fog.
It would physically like hurt you.
It would
Just
basically
just suffocate
land on
you.
like a snowflake.
They already have cats and dogs dying out there because of smog. Like,
Damn,
you're
that's
smaller
crazy.
than a cat or a dog.
all right, yeah. So then I guess in China that wouldn't work.
So
Yeah.
we'll go to JP's. Would you undergo this procedure?
I'd probably be like Abby, or I would do it as a retirement. I've never been like an early adopter for stuff, so I wouldn't be one of the first people to do this kind of shit. I'd have to wait and see a lot, and then even then it'd be like after I've lived my life, go on a new adventure as an old dude, as a tiny person.
Yeah, we're all afraid of early access games.
Fuck early access, man.
Early
Yeah.
access is real.
One reason I would say no is because I go bald for a while. And not just bald
What?
on my head, I go bald everywhere.
Really?
You have to shave all this shit, I guess, for the procedure. That's not the worst thing ever.
Like Matt Damon lost his eyebrows, he lost everything.
Everyone is hairy. Like, I mean, hairless though. It's not just you.
I'd be
But
fine
then
with
you
that.
have to
Looks
be
like a
hairless.
weird looking baby.
Yeah, I don't know.
Everyone looks like a weird looking baby though. It's not just you. It's not like everyone has to go through that shit. I'd be fine with that part.
Yeah, I'd be fine with it too.
I think I look good if I was bald. I mean,
Almost
I look good
like-
now, but I look just as fine.
Nice.
There's like another thing I feel like about this. Like this is not to do with like the actual issue. It's like it's this movie. It's because Matt Damon always needs to be saved by some people.
I was gonna bring that up
It's like
myself.
automatically like I ain't gonna save Matt Damon Tiny Town. It's not happening.
Wait until Matt Damon gets saved, and then it might be a good decent time to do this. Until then, if Matt Damon hasn't been saved, that means there's still bugs and shit.
Okay, so overall, everyone's just for the most part, everyone's just chilling. I'm Nain, your Logan's yay.
Do you guys think that the inflation would ever catch up? Like, how long do you think it would take for it to catch up in that kind of society?
Like, my entire mindset was like, politically, socially, and economically, this is not feasible at all.
And physically.
At all.
This inflation rate though, so it's like what? It's like $1.240. At what point does that
That's the
drop
exchange
from
rate.
like the exchange rate? Well, at what point is the exchange rate like $1 to $10?
It's literally as soon as everyone starts coming in.
Up
Don't
to
you
a
mean-
certain point, though, because you have to remember that like they need less resources, so that means you have plentiful resources. So that cost of resources, assuming you're still able to mine it and extract it, is pretty low, right? Because you need less resources, so just that's not like a thing you have to worry about anymore.
Right, but the issue would be that the small society would have to become pretty self-reliant and less reliant on big society after a certain
Yes.
point.
Yeah, if they're able to overcome that, which is probably the only time when you'd have a lot of people doing it all at once, is when, I don't know, I still think it would be like pretty solid economically.
Economically, it would not be solid. The upper class would definitely outshine the middle class. It doesn't matter if you're coming in from the big world to the little world. There's still
That's
gonna be
very
an upper
true,
class,
and I
there'll be a
understand that.
bigger
but-
fucking upper class.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause if you're rich in the real world or the big world, and you go down and like somebody's 54K is 1.25 million, then they're like these people in the quadrillions. Like
Wait. Those people wouldn't even go down. If they're living like kings in the big world, why the hell would you go to the little world to live like a lesser?
Yeah.
super king.
So from
So,
an
like-
economical standpoint, or like a social standpoint, the upper class will just keep getting wealthier. The lower class that keeps coming in will still be at the low class. So there'll be an even bigger gap in the middle class. So literally nothing will change.
Actually,
How long do you think that would take, though?
I have no clue. But yeah, I mean, at some point, it would probably help the big class. Actually, it wouldn't help either society because I'm assuming all the middle class people in the big world would want to go into the little world.
So they could be upper class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that'll create a huge gap in the little world. And that'll create a huge gap in the big world. And all of a sudden, everyone's in a dysfunctional social unit.
Because like this really doesn't really help that much in the short term. I mean, like, actually, no, it does help in the short term because like people use less resources in the overpopulated world. Long term, this kind of just shits on everybody.
How so?
They would have to keep expanding as little people to a certain point where it's just like they'll have people coming into the little world and it'll be in a shittier area. You know what I mean? Because they can't keep like expanding an area until like they have like enough for everyone to be happy because like these people have mansions. You know what I mean? Like eventually like you'll have people from the real world from a shitty like house go down into the smaller world to like a slightly less shitty house.
I'm assuming it would just end up matching a third world country at some point.
What, the ratio of like,
The exchange rate.
ah,
We'll just compare it to like India is not a third world country, but we'll just compare it to India. It's roughly like 60 to 1. So you can get 60 rupees to $1. At some point, it'll be somewhere right around there.
I guess another question is like saying 60 rupees to $1 is kind of cool, but like it's more about what can you buy with those 60 rupees versus that
Exactly.
$1, right?
Exactly. So at some point, either the prices will go up or the exchange rate will catch up. So it's either or.
Yeah, it really depends on how self-sufficient they get.
Like, they have to
Also,
make like their own little island of little people or something.
yeah. And natural disasters would be like fucking crazy too. Oh man. Like, imagine like a hurricane.
Imagine
Yeah.
a light breeze at 20 miles per hour.
That's basically
Oh,
a
shit.
hurricane.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it has to
Planes.
be a controlled environment, or these people died like 15 times.
Or they need like special gear when they go outside to combat every little
Fucking
instance.
spacesuits.
Just
Oh
become
my
Martians.
Martians on Earth.
And it's Matt Damon again.
Save! He's surrounded by worms. Just like ah. All right. So, do we have anything else to talk about this? I think.
I think we covered a lot of the flaws of this plan.
Do we
The
have
benefits would be the yeah. What would the pros be?
The pros are like you have more money, I guess, right?
I imagine that like it would be more fun. You'd be able to like do all sorts of shit that you wouldn't be able to do.
You could
I
definitely
feel
do
like the
really cool
adventures
shit.
you would go on would be freaking astounding.
You can ride a rat.
Imagine climbing Mount Everest. Like, and how much
Oh,
difficult
true.
that would be.
Takes so
You
long.
mean impossible it would be.
You mean like a mini Mount Everest, like a play Mount Everest?
Yeah,
What do
like
you
a
mean?
hill.
No, he means the real thing.
Just a hill.
You mean a hill, like a bunny hill, a bunny hill. Oh my god! I
And
guess,
now
like,
imagine all the insects that would be like fucking terrifying.
I mean, actually, if you were that size, then what is a cockroach would be like what a puppy size or something, or like a dog size to you?
Christ, I do not want to fight a fucking puppy-sized cockroach.
And then you're like
It's like a
walking into
greatling.
like a swarm of spiders or something.
Oh yeah,
Just
that'd
didn't
be,
even swarm, just one spider.
A praying mantis.
They're like
would
up
be
to
kinda
your, they're
scary.
walking up to your chest, and it's like, oh no,
No, no,
Or
no,
like-
no, no.
A wasp or something.
oh man, a wasp would be, you'd be dead.
Think of
Those
like
things
a
are
dust
ruthless.
bunny. Would that just be like tumbleweed?
Yeah, dust would be crazy. Like you walk into some
Dust
old
bunny.
person's house, and like, so not some old person, but it's like an old dusty house.
Tumbleweeds
And, like,
everywhere.
How does drugs and alcohol work?
You just get high.
Would you just?
You wouldn't need
Die?
that much.
I feel like,
yeah,
like
you
what
just
would you?
take less.
Is
Can you
Matt
even,
Damon
like,
plant
month?
crops? Would you if you plant like a crop of like a potato? How would you even?
You have to have some
harvest
strong
that?
ass machines.
How
The,
would you
the
harvest
seeds
the
would be
potato?
pretty fat, but yeah, harvesting would be an issue.
Yeah.
The seeds would be doable. You'd still be able to like, grab a seed. You'd probably need like 2 hands, 2 arms, maybe.
That sounds like a whole village activity to farm a potato, especially like imagine like maggots or something. Oh my god,
Oh, that'd be terrible.
I just fucking
Ew.
Yeah,
like
'cause
every
potatoes would be
single concept,
like, they'd be like around your size, maybe a little bigger on some potatoes. Some potatoes get pretty fat.
oh
so-
god.
What
That'd
if
be
you had like a
pretty
potato avalanche? Like just a bunch of potatoes just fall over and like crush everyone.
They're gone.
Wiped out
A
by the
potato
potato
land?
fan.
Potato avalanche.
Watch
Potavalanche.
out for the mashed potatoes.
My grandpappy died in the Great Potato Harvesting of 1942.
I just realized, back to Logan's old point, you just made a generational decision for like every generation to come if you go small.
Yeah, they can't go back.
Because they'll all be small.
Yeah,
Holy
you have
shit.
kids.
Holy shit. So you fucked your entire generation to come.
You fucked your whole family.
Yo, so time out. So think about this though. So let's say you had a job that you could only do as a big person, like you were some office work or something. You can't do that no more. If you take your kid, or if you go in tiny, and there's no university, it's not like there's anything. It's like everyone's just here as retirement, right? If you have kids, how do they get educated? How do they go to college? And how do they get a job?
You better hope teachers get small.
Yeah, pretty much.
Online college, man. University
like,
of Phoenix.
How are you supposed to get a job as a little person when it's hard to get a job currently as a big person? You know what I
Entrepreneur.
mean?
There's probably a lot of different jobs for little people, but you can still like do research and shit as a little person. I don't see why that would have to necessarily stop.
No. That's true. But like, think of the competition, because like you can't really do manual labor in a big.
Oh
world.
yeah. Manual labor is like becomes like a huge issue. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
because your options get even smaller as a little person. So like, if you're born in a little person world and your parents are just rich but they don't have any other resource to give you, you're just living off their inheritance until your kids, and then so on and so forth until your family has to work for a Cheesecake Factory. You know what I mean?
But you're also assuming there wouldn't be little person jobs though too. There probably would be little people jobs that only little people could do. Like I don't know, going to a pipe and like pull out this big ass block. Like you can't go in somewhere else. But you can just like become plumbers.
You're still describing being a plumber. Like, I'm not saying that's not a bad profession. You know what I'm saying?
It's not the first one you pick. I don't know. I think there'd still be little people jobs, and if anything, there'd be jobs that only little people could do.
Yeah, like
Yeah, that's true.
check out my ear.
Yeah,
Do I have
I mean-
earwax in there?
we're thinking of all the shitty things that only little people can do, but there'll probably be other things that little people can do better than all bigger people. Like really anything that has getting to a tight space, that's the first thing you think of. But that'd be a nice benefit, I would say.
All right. But for the most part, I think we're consenting that there's a lot more negatives than positives. Is this true?
Too many unknowns, I would say, than negatives.
I
Just
think
Yeah.
there's too many gray area.
lots of what if.
Yeah, and the goods don't outweigh any of those. The
Okay.
amount of goods.
All right. That's general. I think that's a good consensus.
Like my life would be pretty shitty as a big person for me to like think about this.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's got to be a low class individual that has to go into this society in general. Because a normal upper middle class person wouldn't be like, yeah, I'm gonna just drop it and go be ultra wealth.
I mean, only if like
World.
it seems
Or-
interesting to the board of the life, but
It depends
Or if
on.
you get in there first and discover something fantastic and become like some pioneer of some shit.
Dude, little person startups.
and to be honest, like the only
They're
people who probably
starting up
afford to
that
do this are
industry.
the people who have money, right?
Yeah, because they didn't
Could you
specify
repeat
how
that?
much it cost in the trailer, so until we see the movie, I'm not gonna know how much it's supposed to cost.
Okay. I think that's good.
I think we're good.
Good job, everybody.
Nice. If you liked the video, give us a thumbs up or let us know in the comments below. And subscribe for more Snorkeling Beluga content. See y'all later.